All right, so we thought it'd be fun to do a reaction video, kind of a behind the scenes bit of content here about one of our short films. Um, I'm Matt. I actually didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if that was scripted. He's John. I'm Matt, and I don't know if this is a vanity project or not.
It's a vanity
It's a
project.
bit of a vanity
It's
project,
all
but
vanity.
I don't know. Figured it'd be a good way to break down our own films, be honest, critique ourselves to the degree we're capable, and then just
So
give a little insight into the process.
yeah, um, maybe we'll show a few seconds of the film and then we'll pause to talk about what's going on here. So here goes nothing.
Yeah. No, I think the code is right. I don't think I did it right.
I just got it. Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, it worked. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll just use a ton to prep for the film. So, yeah, 10 days is not that long, but. Yeah. Thank you again. I am so grateful. Yeah, I don't know. If you need anything, I'm just saying, you know where to find me. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. All right. Bye. I'm gonna be a star.
All right. What are your thoughts on that? It's a lot of you.
Yeah, it's a lot of me, which I prefer.
He appreciates, yeah.
So Matt wrote and directed this film. First of all, I would say, and this is not to be a cop-out, but from concept to completion, basically, this was maybe a matter of a week. We decided we had some momentum from a previous film we did. I think it was Pregnancy Test, and we decided, hey, what if we shot something this week? And we had a location available, and that had something to do with it. And we just started spinning ideas. I think the original idea was actually about like a guy takes a COVID test, and instead of the test being positive or negative, it gives him advice or tells him something like a fortune cookie.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how we got to this.
Forgot about that. Well, I don't know. I mean, this is, as you'll see in a sec, it's a doppelganger story. But doppelganger, it's two of you. Does that make you a doppelganger? But it's bare bones, 3 people, you, myself, and Nicholas, who's no longer with us. And he's in England temporarily. We hope
He's studying abroad
he's studying abroad. You want to hear the dumbest joke?
at the age of 46.
the dumbest joke.
What's that?
Say he's studying abroad. Who's the broad?
Oh, wow. We'll cut that part out.
Yeah, that's okay. It's a bad joke.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we'll cut that one out. So Nick, cut that out.
Yeah. So
the concept.
The concept. Yeah, it was. I think I had written this story. I had written a conversation between 2 people, well, between the same person, where it's just it's a lot of just your inner critic coming out. It's a constant theme, I think, in stuff I write and stuff we make. Yeah, because we all have our own inner critic, and so we just made this film over the course of a day. And then Nick added all the 70s, the 70s stuff, the title, the music. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's watch a little more and see what we have to say.
See what we.
For a walk.
Where?
Nowhere. I just need to clear my head.
Okay, that's fair. But just take the revolver, all right?
Would that make you feel better?
I just don't like not knowing where you are.
Well, get used to it. We'll get used to it.
I told you this would.
You hate it already?
No.
You're bored?
No. I just forgot. But so what we've seen so far, I guess we're explaining the film because okay, hold on.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to get to focus.
It's an actor rehearsing for a film, so he's running lines with himself. So you already start to see the whole you talking to yourself thing. Do you know where the dialogue, the recorded dialogue that that's playing off this speaker actually, that's right here.
Props department.
Do you know where that came from?
No, I don't.
I wrote this script during COVID about it was a zombie apocalypse, just a zombie movie, and I just scrolled through it and just found samples that weren't too explicitly about the apocalypse, and then just made that the dialogue that you're reading.
I love it. I mean, so obviously I'm acting in this, and so that's where some of my comments will come from, I guess, is from that perspective of being in it. Why are you smiling?
I don't know. I was just gonna think of a really dumb joke.
Okay, you already had yours.
I know. We're
studying
getting
abroad joke.
used to this.
You know, I think the idea of the inner critic, like you said, is a universal one. So that was an easy one to grasp onto and relate to. In terms of just being part of this project, it was extremely low stakes because it was just the three of us. It was last minute. We didn't have a lot invested in it, so to speak. And I think that's partially why I think we're pretty happy with the result. People have liked this film and kind of gotten a kick out of it. And I think because we weren't too precious with it, I mean, we had fun with it. We did everything in a day. In terms of my kind of preparation for the film, there wasn't a lot of memorizing or a lot of pressure to kind of like get it right. It was just me having fun and delivering lines to you, which, well, we'll see in a second how that plays out. But there's something I think we learned there in terms of just having fun, staying loose, and I don't know, not creating an environment that has too much pressure.
Yeah. I like that you, that's all true, and I like how invested you get in the characters. I also want to preface all this by saying I can't help but feel pretentious just talking about our own work like this.
Oh, for sure.
Which I think is fun.
Yeah.
But I want to just preface everything. I guess it's not really preface if it's
we'll put a disclaimer at the bottom.
Preface comes at 3 minutes in. And like everything we make a lot of mistakes, and there's a lot of things that we want to change. And this was, I think, one of the more rewarding projects because we did it so quickly. There wasn't a lot of time to overthink things. But it's a good learning experience.
Yeah, someone put it as not being too precious with your projects.
You put it.
I did. No, I know, but I put it that way, but I heard it from someone else. So I just used it with you guys.
Do you want to say who it was?
No, I don't remember. I never give credit.
It's your source. It's you never reveal a source.
Just someone on Reddit.
Should we keep watching?
Okay.
Happen.
It's something we can't overcome together.
This isn't like the last time.
Exactly like the last time. We can't let him in.
He saved my life. We owe him some hospitality.
What were you even doing out there?
They're just zombies.
Just zombies? Do you even hear yourself right now?
You're completely butchering it.
That's not the line. No, it's supposed to say, well, they move slow.
I said you're completely butchering it. The script?
What are you doing right now?
What are you doing right now?
Rehearsing and eating dinner.
That's your dinner? Aren't you a little worried about being on camera? It's gonna be 8K. It's an 8K camera. That's 33 million pixels.
I am not doing this right now. I'm not talking to you right now.
Yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. More people will watch this than any project you've ever been in combined. You're gonna fuck it all up. You're pathetic. You're pathetic. And you're a fat little pepperoni bitch.
It's a good start. It's a good spot to stop.
Oh boy.
So what is it like? How much of you is in this as an actor?
Wow. I mean, that is a good question. Certainly a fair bit. I mean, that is kind of the aim, I think, with acting, is finding yourself in the character. How much of a character that is, whether you're playing an evil monster or a Marvel character or a character that's very far from who you are, like an extreme kind of version of a character. You're still trying to find yourself in that. In this case, I'm, loosely playing myself, essentially playing my real self, which is an actor trying to succeed, get ahead. I've landed this big opportunity in this story, and then my inner critic is starting to chime in. So, quite relatable in terms of some of those kind of struggles as an actor that you have, and being your own worst enemy.
Nice. This is where you ask me how much of myself is.
How much of yourself is in it?
It's a great question. I don't know. I'm basically just restating what you said. But yeah, we all have our own inner critic, the person who's the voice who's I don't know, all the internalized voices of I'm getting pretentious again. Yeah, it's what you said.
You could also, I mean, so Nick is not here, who was doing a lot of camera operating and lighting and whatnot, but you guys kind of did that together, which is a common setup when it's us, kind of the core group of outside in. Anything on the technical side in terms of these shots or the pool or shooting outside or doing the double piece where I'm talking to myself, how you guys achieve
Split
that?
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, those just split screen. I read the other lines. I was actually I was happy with how that turned out. I think that frame, the two of you, is a little crooked. I think the table's level,
I
but
can tell.
some of the lines in the back of the room are a little crooked. I mean, we weren't, again, being terribly precious, but as far as like seams, I didn't notice the seam, which is something, it's very like sometimes you'll just have shadows on one side of the frame, and it's very easy. There's just like an abrupt cut off to one of the shadows. So I was pretty happy with how that turned out. And I think that, like, if every film you're trying to make something or do something new, that was the new thing. It's like, how do we not make it feel believable, but make it feel as natural as it can be, both with your performance, because it's hard, so you're not. I probably wasn't giving you a ton when I was reading the lines of the other person.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of, you have to make that work, but then also just the camera angle. I think we may have had more shots in mind where it's two of you, but I think once you do it once, like, you get the idea. I don't think you have to try to, don't be too cute with it. And then a lot of the lighting, it's just I think we had a pretty modest setup. It's just like a few LED panels, and we were just blasting them off the walls. I think sometimes the lighting's a little harsh. You'll see that later on. So that's something I would have liked to have changed in hindsight, but we were moving quickly. Yeah.
So essentially, like, for this scene with the food, we shoot it one way. Matt's sitting in the seat opposite me, feeding me lines. I'm delivering them to him, imagining that it's me or this other character, and then the camera stays perfectly in one place on a tripod, and we switch, trying to make sure nothing in this on set moves, whether it's a piece of paper or a prop or anything in the shot, basically. And if that's done correctly, then you're just seeing two images side by side like this. Is that right?
Yeah, they're split, split screen, and yeah, that's basically it.
That's Hollywood, baby.
Tripods, man.
That's movie magic.
Look at me. Look at me.
Do you think this is going well so far?
I think it's going all right. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
When you watch videos online of other people who you like look up to or do what you want to do, and they're giving a talk and you're like taking notes.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm saying anything.
Oh, I don't either.
So I just like, why? So maybe I'm like, maybe
like
no one knows what they're saying.
I feel like I'm stuttering a lot.
It's okay.
Have you noticed that?
It's okay. Want to hug you?
I don't know why this. Maybe in a bit. I literally don't know why this stutter happened. It's like a YouTube stutter where I only start stuttering when I'm on YouTube talking about my own acting or performing, and it does feel really pretentious. And you've yawned 3 times.
Have I?
Yeah.
Have been counting? Well, let's send this whole thing to Nick.
Send it to Nate
and just see what he thinks of it.
Okay.
Because I think leaving this in, and I know now we're recording me saying leaving this, what we're doing right now, talking about how this is going. Doing? I don't know. Hey, raw, uncut. I think that's what we should do. Don't circumcise this.
So you think we should keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, we might as well, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll just keep going.
Wait. Okay. No, yeah. Keep going. Play.
All right.
We can't keep pausing it too many times.
Are you ready to run lines?
Do you know why they cast you in this pathetic role?
No small roles, only small actors. Okay, that's what Timothy says.
I didn't say small. It's big and pathetic.
This is a big opportunity for us.
You have everything to lose here.
God, shut up.
How many beers is that?
You know you're the reason I drink, right?
It's not the alcohol you have to worry about.
Stop!
You stop!
Stop what? What am I doing?
Pretending like I don't exist.
That's my favorite scene.
Yeah, I would say it's mine too.
I think it worked the best. Also, the whole bottle cap throwing that worked out pretty well.
That
I
was
thought.
a lot of this was serendipitous and little discoveries where I threw the bottle cap at you, and then that meant we needed to recreate that on the other side when we
Yeah. Was
shot
that planned, the bottle cap?
It wasn't planned, but then
But
it
we
meant
knew we had to like make. So we don't
Yeah.
have a script supervisor, which is one of those things I feel
Yeah.
like you overlook. It's like, we can do it with camera, audio, because I'm doing audio,
yeah.
actor. And then you're like, wait, we did a thing that wasn't planned that we liked, but we have to recreate it. So when did we do it? Like
Yeah.
we have to, and when those add up, you know, it's hard to keep track of them.
I think the mic is peaking a tad. It was going orange when you're talking.
So you want me to
You
shut up?
get passionate when you.
I get loud when I get passionate. You want me to stop like being passionate?
There is that constant worry that you're from a continuity perspective something's missing or we didn't record a line, and I suppose every now and then we are caught in the editing room without a take or the audio from something is messed up. Again, this is more
Up
on
the creek without a paddle. So
Yeah.
to speak, yeah.
the kind of stresses that you guys are enduring while producing these and shooting them and the technical side, and you're also directing the actors, which in this case is just me, but when we're having multiple actors, you're
Yeah.
wearing many hats, and I guess such is life in the world of indie filmmaking. But
You see why some of the jobs are necessary. It's like you're like, let's just do it bare bones. We can do this, and then you start to run into problems. It's like how I think the law was probably created. People do things. You're like, you can't do that. It's like, well, no, nothing says I
it's
can't do
definitely
it.
how it was created.
So then they make a law about it. They make a rule, and then they make more and more rules. So I see why film sets are run the way they're run. One thing I guess maybe could be of note is that we filmed this all sequentially in order, which is not common.
Yeah, and what's funny about that is one of the first things I ever shot as an actor was not filmed sequentially. And that means I showed up on set and we recorded the last scene of the film. And that was a tremendous challenge for me for many reasons. Obviously, just being new and trying to get mentally there and going, okay, so it's like she's broken up with me. We already got in the car crash. That dude already died. And I broke into their house. And now I'm here doing the last scene and I just ate a hot dog or whatever. Go.
Sounds
And
great.
you have to, yeah. It's called
Sophie's Hot Dog.
It's one of the Fast and the Furious. So there is that piece too where you're trying to piece things together a little bit, and a lot of times we're also working against the sun moving or going down, and that has to do with shot order as well. But in this case, we did film it sequentially, which gave us
because
the
of daylight.
edge.
Like, we knew we were gonna. Yeah, I think we wanted the end to be at night.
Yeah,
but it's all right.
well, it just meant we all knew kind of what we had built so far, and that gave us a little more security in terms of improvising or knowing where we're at.
Yeah,
but we don't usually get that freedom.
No, yeah, and it definitely matters. I mean, yeah, it's definitely something I think I can get better at is like charting the emotional progression of things. And, I hate coming up with like shooting plans. Like
that's a lot.
It's
just
like
what a producer would do if we had.
Yeah. Can anyone out there want to?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like keeping track of like, okay, so what happened this day, and then this happened, and here it's just three of us. Low stakes. We all know how we all work, and yeah, I think every single thing was shot in order.
I think this is also why like making low budget films lends itself well to simple productions. For instance, a couple that is going through something in one setting, one location, and maybe multiple rooms in the location, but it's really about them going through something real. Can be a little easier to track and shoot and whatnot. But at the same time, things that do have higher production, like when we shot First Date Pill, we have multiple locations. There's, moving around and whatnot. Same thing with Dog Sitter. It's more cinematic when you're creating more of a world where these characters are going from place to place to place.
The goal. I'd like to do more of that for sure. We definitely, a lot of these, like in the past year, we shot a ton of these little short films, and for the most part, they're one location, one day. And that was kind of the goal, to just do it, to get it. Like, just keep making stuff. And now now it'd be great to expand a little bit, but time and spaces, that's all cost money.
And obviously the other question at all times is, does literally anyone care? So we'll just keep,
we like making them.
They're gonna eat you alive. The audience, the critics, the algorithm. You're gonna get blacklisted.
Hey. Yeah. Good. I'm just checking in. Oh, it's been great. Like super chill and great. Yeah, and clean as a whistle.
Well, I did have a couple beers, just to full disclosure. Yeah, I don't know why I told you that. Yeah, I know the calories. Yeah, it's a lot of calories. But yeah, anyway, no, it's going super well, and I'm just spending a lot of time prepping, and I'll be ready for Monday.
People don't like
So what do you think about that?
That's a fun one. I think a lot of times the eyes don't notice that the doppelganger's sitting out there by the pool until he turns and looks. Until I turn and look at
Nick
myself.
really wanted that shot.
I love the shot. I think it's
Nick,
really fun.
I think he took it from La Piscine. They remade it as a bigger splash.
Oh, okay.
It's a Luca Guadagnino film, but there was like this French film, I want to say, in this
Mm.
60s or 70s, and Nick's just obsessed. Nick's obsessed with films that are like Call Me by Your Name, that are just set in like sun-washed,
Yeah.
like tropical, not tropical, but like locations, and so he had this movie in mind, and maybe I could even pull up an image, but it's someone inside, and there's a person framed perfectly inside of a window frame who's outside.
Oh, yeah. He would love that.
So he wanted to do that for this shot, which I thought was cool. Of course, the other you is much smaller in the frame, which maybe works out for this. Yeah, so he really wanted that.
Fun shot.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And you put on weight more easily than you used to. Okay? Why won't you look at me? Why won't you look at me?
I hear you. You've been fucking with me all day, and now I know why. You're actually on my side.
Oh my God, bro.
You want us to get this. You actually love me, don't you?
You're weak.
No, seriously. You actually love me, and you're just looking out for me, but just in your own kind of warped way. Because without me, you wouldn't exist.
I hate it when you say things like that. It makes me feel like I don't matter. I hate it when you ignore me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I get it. You matter. And I get it. You're looking out for me. You're looking out for us. Dude, I care about you.
Oh, don't say that. It makes me feel icky.
It's okay to feel icky sometimes. I mean, well, you're important to me. Okay? And I need you. I need your help if we're going to pull this whole thing off. Okay?
Really?
Yeah.
I've never told you this, but you're like actually my favorite actor. And you're going to crush this role. We're going to crush this role. You're going to be a freaking star.
I know. I know. Yeah, you are talking to a movie star right now. Do you want to run lines with this movie star? We got to get ready.
Yes, let's do it. Starting with, that's how you have to look at it?
Let's do it.
That's how you have to look at it, right? Each new day is a gift.
When did you get so mushy?
I'm mushy because I love you.
What the fuck?
I do have a soft spot for this film.
I think we all do, which is funny, and just trying to figure out like kind of why that is, you know?
I used to think it was cool to hate all my own films. Because you see the flaws, and you're like, you're self-conscious about it, and it's vulnerable to put things out there even on a small scale.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be like, there's something here, and I just enjoyed making it.
I think it's got a good ending. It's got conflict that's set up pretty quickly, which is important in a 7-minute film or any film really. And then there's some struggle to find the resolution, and then there's resolution. I think it's funny because the characters at the end I love the final scene because of the ending and the dialogue, but also because they're just being relational finally, and you're seeing some of the cracks in the armor of the inner critic of he really wants to know, do I matter? Will you just acknowledge me? And sometimes acknowledging our inner critic is all it takes for it to kind of take a back seat, and learning to work with it and learning that it is really just trying to protect you and help you, which is what he
You can't suppress
says.
it. You can't we all have our own shadow.
Yeah.
You can't push it down. You have to give it room to breathe.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that now. Let's talk about apology. No, but I do think about that stuff a lot. I like
Mm.
thinking about the messiness of life and how we all have our own little mess going on, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a manifestation of that
Mm.
on a small scale.
Mm.
I do wonder what it's like for actors to have
Yes.
that. Maybe you can speak to this, but actors like on a like a really big scale. Like, what is it like to see yourself on camera, especially if you've been doing it for years? Like, how do you see your own image? I mean,
Mm.
I don't know, it's gonna be tricky. How do you see yourself, and how do you let other people see you?
Mm.
I know a lot of actors probably don't want to be seen in a certain light,
Mm.
or maybe they own
Well,
it by showing themselves in that light.
part of it is, when you decide to go after a project as an actor, you like the story, you like the dialogue, you see yourself in the character, you see this being a good type for you, but also you're trusting the director that you're going to portray me in a good light, whether that's the style, the quality, the edit. Is this something that I would be not embarrassed to be part of? And, is it a story that honors the people that are helping to tell it? Which again, now we sound really pretentious, but there is a vulnerability to all of it,
Yeah.
whether it's you writing the actual story or me delivering the lines that you wrote, and maybe throwing in some of my own, which I've been known to do.
Yeah, there's a few of those in
There's
the
a few,
script.
yeah. There's
Nick likes to keep you laughing. He likes when you laugh. He likes to
he
keep that
loves
in.
that, which
Yeah.
is the point when I'm laughing at the table is basically breaking character, and he loves to do that.
Yeah.
Breaking character, breaking the fourth wall. He just loves it.
Pepperoni bitch.
Yeah.
That was
Fat little
a riff.
pepperoni. And then at the end, the
Was that a riff?
FUCK was an improv line as well.
Oh.
And he said, "When did you get so mushy? I'm mushy because I love you." Oh, let's fuck. That was improv too.
You just spelled it out and then he just said it.
Yeah, I know. We do one version for the kids, one for the.
Yeah. This is
Anything else from the?
I don't know. Not really. I mean, we've already talked for a while.
What did you learn from doing this or shooting this? Or
I will say I think of all the films we had made up until this point, I think this one stuck together. Well, that's not entirely true, but I was happy with how it felt cohesive.
Yeah.
For whatever faults it might have, and it certainly has a bunch. It felt like, okay, we set a goal of getting from point A to point B and showing some evolution, and I think we did that. In other projects, sometimes it feels like that hasn't landed. Speaking for myself, doesn't feel like there's a whole arc here. And in other projects, here I thought it worked. And the whole pivot was just, I guess, him realizing that his double is looking out for him, which he says is that you do it in your own way, but there's some positive intent, which is kind of anxiety in some ways. On some level, like the things that make you anxious are there designed to protect you. Just they get a little out of whack sometimes, but yeah,
it was a fun one. And so this is our first time doing this kind of reaction video. We're going to see if it's of interest to people whatsoever.
Yeah.
And again,
3 times longer than the film.
A little indulgent, yeah. But if it were me, it's interesting because I like to see how things are made. And
yeah, excuse the indulgence, but the audio speaking. The audio peaks when I talk.
Yeah,
but I like you like seeing behind the curtain a little bit, and maybe we can try to do a little bit more of that. But just you learn a lot by doing, and you learn a lot by hearing how other people did things.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we do it the best way or the right way always. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad I met you and Nick.
You too.
I like working.
Yeah.
I like working together. Yeah.
It's
hard to make stuff on your
fun,
own.
but yeah.
For film, you need people.
Yeah.
And you hopefully want people that you work well with, and then you develop a shorthand.
Yeah.
And it's so much more fun. It's fun making films. It's still fun in other cases, but it's less fun if you're working with people you don't get along with.
I think it accelerates everything once you get a familiarity with one another and a trust. Again, for me, this was the maybe third film we did. At least with me, we did Bully, we did Pregnancy Test, and then Star Treatment.
Yeah, I guess so.
And for me, a lot of acting is about taking risks. It's about vulnerability, letting yourself be seen, trying things, being open and curious. And you can't be in that state, that emotional state, if you're uncomfortable or stressed or with a director that's demanding, or if you're under a time crunch and the producers, have crammed too many shots into one day or whatever. So it all has to come together, and it has to feel kind of effortless when you're actually shooting and seeing a performance. And I think in this case, that's part of why it turned out, at least from my perspective, is it was almost like a throwaway project in a way of
Yeah.
like, this is literally just for fun. We all have a free day and here goes nothing. So I think there's a lot we should take from that
Yeah.
and bring some of that effortlessness into other productions.
This might sound pretty simple, but from a technical standpoint, I was happy that everything felt like it was properly exposed.
Mm.
I thought the
that's
audio
good.
was good for the most part. We
Yeah.
had some issues with the audio for the speaker, and we had our friend I've never met in person, Lucas,
Yeah.
did some really good audio design. But just stuff like that, where it's like
Yeah.
a lot of times, like I will have problems with the scene. The audio is not great for whatever reason, or the like shit. The colors off, or we underexposed this, or
Mhm.
and there are moments where you'll see lighting, even the boom
Yeah.
in the window, and but I mean for the most part I was happy with just like the technical
Mm.
quality. Like okay, I think it turned out okay.
Yeah, there's no distracting technical issues in this film, and yeah, that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, anything else?
No.
All right. Thanks for watching.
If
Let
you made
us
it this
know
far,
if
yeah.
you made it this far, what you think in the comments, thoughts, questions. Like I said, we'll do some more of these just for fun, and if for nothing else, then for the sake of our own exploration and trying to get a little better each time we make a film. So yeah, thanks again, and Nick, we miss you and love you for the most part.